The Saskatchewan Prevention Institute believes that there is potential to build capacity among youth in our province to make informed decisions about their health. We've created the Youth-Led Community Health Grant Program to support youth around the province in the development and delivery of community projects related to sexual health education and preventing alcohol-related harms.
Our goal is to help you submit a successful application and make your project a reality. Keep watching for information on how to complete each section of the application.
The first step in the grant application process is to identify at least one adult ally who will help guide the development and delivery of a project. They will be responsible for communication with Saskatchewan Prevention Institute staff, providing guidance or assistance in project delivery and planning, and will also be responsible for assisting with grant reporting.
There must be at least 2 youth between the ages of 14 and 24 involved in the planning and delivery of your project. Watch our video on youth engagement to learn more about how to actively engage youth in your project.
Funding can only be provided to an agency or group that represents the project and not individuals or private businesses. If you're applying for a project but aren't associated with an agency or group, consider reaching out to your school, a youth-focused nonprofit, or a municipal or community organization to partner with you for your project.
When considering the purpose of your project, describe the specific issue or topic your project will address, how your project will address that topic, and what you want to accomplish with your project. Remember, the purpose of your project should be related to sexual health education or the prevention of alcohol-related harms.
In this section, you need to provide a general description of your project. The best descriptions are simple, clear, and brief. Consider how you might explain your project if you had 1 minute or less to speak. Try to answer the following questions in your description. What is your project? Who is it for? What topic does it address? And how are you planning to deliver it?
Before we move on to the next section of the application, let's talk about goals and objectives. A goal is the desired outcome of the project. For example, your project might have the goal of increasing knowledge about alcohol-related harms, increasing testing for sexually transmitted infections, or reducing teen pregnancies.
Objectives describe the actions and activities you need to do in order to reach your goal and can include activities like holding a certain number of presentations or activities, hosting an STI testing day, or sharing educational resources.
To develop objectives, it can be helpful to apply the S.M.A.R.T criteria. Objectives should be specific, well-defined, simple, and clear. They should also be measurable to help you decide whether your activities help you reach your goal. You can measure things like numbers of participants, surveys, and workshops, and use evaluations to see if attitudes and knowledge have changed after learning something new. Your objectives should also be attainable, realistic, and timely, meaning that they should be possible to achieve during your project timeline, and they should be relevant to the purpose of your project.
Now that we've discussed the difference between goals and objectives, it's time to define them for your project. Describe the overall or broad goal of your project. Think about what the desired result of your project is and what you hope to achieve. Try to describe your goal in a simple and clear way.
In this section, you will provide your SMART objectives, the target youth audience for your project. This could be youth in a school, town, cultural group, or other demographic, and any community organizations that you might be partnering with for the delivery and management of your project.
For your work plan, break down your project into smaller parts and describe the main activity for each part. Give a time frame estimate of when you would like the activity to happen, what resources you will need to do the activity, who the target audience of each activity is, and who will be the person or group responsible for completing that activity.
All of the organizations that receive funding need to complete a report once the project is finished. The easiest way to do a final report on projects is to have a plan of how you will do it right at the beginning stages of implementing your project.
Collect and save all receipts of expenses, including both paper and electronic receipts, to keep track of how you use the grant funds. Upon completion of your project, make sure that you have asked all participants to fill out an evaluation form. This should be done as soon as possible once the project is finished. We will provide all grant recipients with an evaluation form template. It can be helpful to take notes during the different stages of project planning and implementation to remember the successes and challenges you faced along the way.
This report is due within 1 month of project completion. If a report is not provided, your group will not be eligible for future funding.
Details you will need to provide in your report include a statement of expenses, completed evaluation forms, and a description of what was successful and what was challenging during the project delivery. You can submit a video documenting your project and your experiences as part of your final report.
For this section of the application, tell us what information you will be keeping track of, how you will gather that information, and how you will know if your project is a success.
In this section, estimate how much each activity in your work plan will cost to deliver. The maximum amount that our grant will fund is $3,000. Grants requesting over $2,000 must show evidence of matching funds from their community, another organization, or other awarded grants. Matching funds may be in-kind expenses, like a salary or space rental. If your agency or partnering organization are providing staff, a facility, or other supplies for this project, you can estimate the value of those contributions in the third column.
Keep in mind that we can't provide funding for every expense. Some examples of things we can't provide funding for include salaries or wages, facility rentals, or capital expenditures like cameras or gym equipment.
Deadlines to apply for this grant are on May 31st and November 15th of each year. Follow the link to download the application form. If you have any questions about the grant application, you can email info@skprevention.ca or phone 306-651-4300. Completed applications can be emailed or faxed to 306-651-4301.
We can't wait to learn more about the great ideas that Saskatchewan youth have to address alcohol-related harms and sexual health in their communities. This grant exists to help turn those ideas into reality.